Hi guys, welcome to my video. If you're just joining for the first time, welcome. And in today's tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to cut this beautiful wrap short. The first thing we're going to need our wrapper, our ruler, our tape. We're going to need our marker, we're going to need our pen and our scissors. Without further ado, let's dive into it. So the first thing you're going to do is to rule out a straight line. This serves as a beginner line. Your next step is to take your knicker measurement, which is your short measurement. So the length I'm using for my short is 16 inches, and I'm going to add 2 inches to it for the folding allowance. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm using a hip of 45. I'm going to divide my hip by 4, making it 11.25, but I'm going to use 11 on this. The reason for using 11 is because I want this short to be a high waist short. Then I will use that same length to get my crotch length. The same 11 I used on my waist, I'm going to use it as my crotch length. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rule out the lines that I've marked out. So you take out the crotch line, take out the same thing that you have on the crotch, which is that 11 inches. You take it out again. I just hope you're understanding what I'm saying and following me gradually. So we're going to divide that 11 inches that we have. We're going to divide it by 4. Anything we have, we'll place it there. What I have was 2.75. That's what I used there. I'm going to mark out my knicker length that I already pointed out earlier. Then I'm going to mark out the folding allowance for the short. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the curve for the crotch, because we don't want our pants looking like what we don't know. So we're going to use 1 inch to curve it out. Sometimes it depends on you, but I like using 1 inch or less than 1 inch to curve out my crotch depth. So I'm trying to get the line here so that you guys can really follow. So I used out my marker to complete it and shape it out. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take it down. Since I want this short to be a little bit free, I'm not going to dip it. I'm just going to take it down from that crotch line exactly. I'm taking it down to the hemming line. So the next thing we're going to do now is to level. I'm leveling my waistline, my crotch line, my thigh line, which is my lap line, then the full length of my short. So without further ado, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to minus ½ inch from the flap, because I don't want that excess gaping that we normally have after making your shorts. So eliminating this will reduce that gaping, that fold that used to come down of your shorts. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to cut out my patterns. Like I labeled before, my waist, my crotch, my lap line and my full length. Sorry that I didn't make it bold. I'm sorry for that. So I'm cutting it out now. Watch what I'm doing. Cut out the lines that were marked. Cut out the lines that were marked. Please don't go beyond this mark. Don't go and cut another thing. Just follow the line straight, please. And please, if you're just joining for the first time, please do well to like, comment, share and subscribe to my channel. It just helps my channel grow. So the next thing I did was bring out a different pattern paper for the back, because the front and the back of the shorts are not the same thing. So I used a tape to tape it down to avoid it from moving. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to add 2 inches allowance to my short length. But before that, I added 1.5 at the crotch line because of the back. The reason for adding that, because some people normally have a bigger bum. If you don't add that, if they wear the short, it will be dragging down. So the reason for adding that is to make sure the short balances at the waistline. So the next thing I'm going to do is to connect all this line. I'm going to connect that 1.5 inch I went up by. I'm going to connect it back to the waistline. Then I'm going to connect all those dots, all those 2 inches I marked earlier. I'm going to connect everything. And that is it for the back. After connecting, I'm going to mark it out. Please do well to follow what I'm doing exactly, please, to avoid any mistake. I'm taking it gradually for you guys to see the actual process of what I'm doing. So we are done with the back and we're going to cut out. Please don't mind that noise outside, it's my environment. So sorry for the noise. So I'm going to cut it out on my piece of material. So I'm done cutting it out. This is the front and this is the back I showed you. So I'm going to use this piece of the front to cut out the skirt part of the front. I'm sorry this part is not well detailed, but if you follow me exactly what I'm doing, you understand. I use exactly this short pattern that I've drafted out earlier to get the front skirt part. I use it exactly. I did not remove anything. I cut it out offline so that this video will not be too long. I use this exactly. So this is what it's going to look like. I'm sorry it's not detailed. I just slant it a little bit at the front. And we are done with the cutting pattern, with the drafting part. The next thing I did was join the crotch. This is me joining the crotch part. After joining, I'll join it together and I'll do the same for the back. So after joining them together, the next thing I'm going to do is to join the side seams. I'm using half an inch to sew this. Don't use more than half an inch. So this is the front part. I'm going to join with the back. I'm going to use half an inch to do the same. Then after doing that, make sure they are matched and you're using exactly half an inch to sew. Don't use more than that. Next part, I went ahead to cut out the band. I measured the front and the back and cut out each band for them. So I'm done fixing the bands. The next thing I'm going to do is to add elastic to it. Yes, I'm going to add an elastic to it. This elastic is to give it a good grip at the back because there's no zipper, and we are done. Please, thanks for watching. Do like, subscribe, share and comment, and see you in my next video.